Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. It's Wednesday the 2nd of September. Thanks again for watching. This is your look ahead video. Now, been feeling more like autumn across eastern parts of the country today, and boy will it feel even more so tomorrow as low pressure comes down the North Sea, bringing some gales. More on that in just a moment. Firstly, I am exasperated. Yeah, I know it doesn't take a great deal, does it? But it does feel like I'm banging my head against a wall. Newspaper reports today talking about the wettest August on record. Two problems with that. One is that, yeah, it may have been the wettest August at a particular weather station or a couple of particular weather stations, simply because of some heavy downpours that they've had. But we're talking here about southwest England. Remember Boscastle? Remember the rain that came from that? We've seen nothing like that during the course of August. And so this isn't a region-wide phenomenon. This is localised. Let's just pick up on the second issue. Records began. Well, arbitrarily, the Met Office have decided that records began in 1912, which clearly they didn't. So we need to be very careful when we're making statements such as that. This is the actual data for the summer, so let's deal with a few facts, shall we? That on the UK overall, the actual temperature was half a degree below normal from the 1981 to 2010 average, so it was cool. Sunshine hours were actually 102%, so average of the 1981 to 2010 average. Of course, if you want to make a story from that, you can say it was sunnier than normal. And rainfall was 113% of the 1981 to 2010 average. That's nothing phenomenal at all. That's just a wetter than average summer. So, you know, the stats just don't belie the story that's going on here. And yeah, it was nondescript, and for some it was wet, certainly, but for others it was much drier, until right at the very end of August. But actually, overall, the summer was pretty well a nondescript summer. Now, something else I want to pick up on. This is the Met Office news blog from their chief scientist, Dame Julia Slingo, and personal against Julia Slingo. I've met her and she's a lovely lady. So this is nothing at all, but I have to pick out some of the points that are made in this press release. You can go to the Met Office website and you can see it, but I think it needs to be picked up on. Okay, first up, no one can deny that we've had a pretty disappointing summer. It's not. That's a personal view. I actually don't think it has been a disappointing summer. It's just been, as I said earlier, it's just been nondescript, really. A lot of unsettled weather and only a few warm spells. Again, can't back up that. Yeah, we went with 2 or 3 dry days, but then got hit by rain. Yes, some parts of the country will have been wetter. Some of you will be jumping up and down and be saying this, saying, well, we have had a wet weather. But generally, overall, we were faced with this position where there were a couple of dry days, then it would rain, a couple of dry days, then it would rain. And that's been backed up by farmers across the country who got so frustrated because you get some dry weather and then it would go wet. There's other stuff that I can pick up on here, but the main one is the use of language. Okay, this paragraph here talks about the effect of El Nino on our weather. Yes, El Nino does have an effect because it has to have an effect, because if it didn't have an effect, none of us would be here, in exactly the same way that the North Atlantic has an effect on our weather. So what we could do here is just pick up on this phrase. Close to home, the North Atlantic is more than 2 degrees colder than normal. That phrase, than normal, it makes it sound as if this is unusual. This 2-degree temperature change is unnormal. Is not normal. Let me tell you, it absolutely is normal. The Atlantic goes through phases, which is what I tell you about here at WeatherWeb. We talk about the Atlantic Meridional Oscillation, the Atlantic Multidecadal Oscillation, which is the natural fluctuation of Atlantic temperatures. So let's just debunk this little one, shall we? Because it's colder than normal. That's the temperature chart from the the 31st of August, and there is the cold water that we're talking about, okay? That is just in that little bit in the middle is 3 degrees Celsius below normal. Generally, you would have that at 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius below normal. So we're told below normal. It's not normal, it's average. It's below the average of 1981 to 2010 temperatures. That's 2015. Not normal, this is 2012. There's a pool of cold water down towards the southwest of the country. That's 2 degrees Celsius below average, or even below normal. Let's go back to 2009. Goodness me, this is really getting abnormal now, because since 2009, randomly, I've just picked out 3 years when the temperatures have been below normal in the Atlantic. And there we are at 2.5 degrees Celsius below average. So it quite simply is not right to describe that North Atlantic temperature as 2 degrees Celsius colder than normal. It's colder than average. It's below average temperature. If that temperature didn't fluctuate, we wouldn't have changes in climate, and the chances are humankind would not be here. Right, okay, off my soapbox for a moment. Let's just whiz through next few days. Can you tell how fed up I am by this one? I can go through that statement and pick out so many things, right? As I've said before, I so want to be able to promote the Met Office, and the Met Office brand is a great British brand. But while they're competitors of mine, I can't quite simply do that. And I want to go out with the absolute facts. And facts need to be stuck to, and there needs to be a careful consideration of the language that is being used in these press releases, because it's picked up by the media and then it's jumped on, and it's given the impression that for some reason the climate that we've experienced this summer is not normal. Well, look, folks, you know as well as I know, it is perfectly normal. Okay, on to the high pressure. Here we are from today. This is from weatheronline.co.uk. Well, just notice as we go through the sequence here, look, how low pressure dips down the North Sea. The high remains out towards the west, look, as we head into the weekend. It's slipping its way through the country into next week, and it's holding on to most of the country right the way through to the end of next week. Yeah, we've got this front down here across the western parts of Scotland into western parts of Ireland by Thursday, but then look, but the high tries to get back in again end of the week and into next weekend. I think this is perfectly feasible. Could get a hit of warmth coming in from the south or from the southeast before we see this feature out towards the west here break its way eastwards through the country and break things down possibly around about the 14th-ish. Well, we've got to watch middle of the month. May well be a week's worth of unsettled weather, but the high could get back in later once again. So the GFS at the moment really goes according to our plan. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that for now because I've whittled on for long enough. My apologies. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to spread the word. Tell your friends about us. Of course, you can sign up by email to get notification of when we update these forecasts. But for now, whatever you're doing, thanks again for watching. Try and stay normal and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.